Hello, readers and writers. Welcome to lesson 48, which is your final lesson of all the work that we've done together. So this will be your final lesson of your LA School Away from School. I'm Mr. Driver, and I will be your final virtual teacher for today's lesson. Let's go ahead and start with those same guiding questions that will be the last time you'll hear these. So probably are celebrating that right now. But what journey does food take before it gets to your plate? And how do we make decisions about what we eat? Remember that this is kind of our culminating presentation that we'll be doing regarding these questions. Okay, time to get materials out for today's work. Lesson 48, writing activity, which is like your note catcher. The visual component piece, whether you've done it in a previous lesson or you're finalizing and finishing up your visual component, this can also be done on a computer screen, or it can be done on a poster board or just a piece of paper, the ones that we've provided in the note catchers. Position speech checklist, making sure that you look at the one that you've been looking at. There's another one provided for you. Just kind of make sure that you are looking at what needs to be checked off. And of course, a pencil or something to write with. Go ahead and pause the video here while you make sure you have all these materials. Okay, we have our targets for today. I can present claims and findings in a focused, coherent manner using relevant evidence, sound reasoning, and well-chosen details. I can use effective speaking techniques, appropriate eye contact, adequate volume, and clear pronunciation. And I can integrate multimedia components and visual displays in a presentation to clarify information, strengthen claims, and add emphasis. Let's make sure we keep these targets in mind during all of our work. So with a family member, caregiver, or friend, return to read the position presentation prompt located in the read section of this lesson, lesson 48. Be sure to take or make note of any steps that will be needed to completed. You'll need to complete as you think about what needs to be done to finalize everything that you've done so far. So I will go ahead and read this prompt out loud. That's located in the read section of lesson 48. Use your note catchers in learning about each food chain: industrial, organic, sustainable, and hunter-gatherer. To write and present a position paragraph or speech to answer the following question: which of the 4 food chains would best feed all the people in the United States? Consider the following. When taking a position on an issue, you need to research the pros and cons, or strengths and weaknesses, and compare it with an alternative option. When putting forward an argument, you need to provide relevant and sufficient evidence to support your claims. With a family member, caregiver, or friend, read the checklist below, or the checklist on the screen. Step 1, complete the graphic organizer from lesson 46. 2, use the graphic organizer to write your speech. 3, draw or choose visual component for speech. 4, practice delivering the speech. 5, deliver the speech to someone, family member, caregiver, or friend as practice. And step 6, which you see is bolded because this is something we'll be working on in this lesson. But of course, if you didn't do a previous step, then make sure you do have that by the end of today's lesson. And that's step 6 is adapt the speech for a final presentation to someone or a group of people, family member, caregiver, or friend, whomever it is due to. And then pause the video here while you return to these steps and think about what you need to do and what needs to be done. Okay, for our thinking time today, I want you to think about these things. How can you revise your paragraph to strengthen the position you are taking? Of course, revising a paragraph means sometimes we return to what we've done and maybe just, take some feedback you were given, or possibly as you read it over and over, you think, I can change this to better reflect my mind. Think also about how you can improve the way you present your information. Once again, this is probably coming from some sort of feedback, whether you recorded yourself or someone told you, especially when you think about that checklist that we were using. And the last one I want you to think about is, do your visuals that you chose best represent your information, support your claim, and add emphasis? And only you can tell that, of course, with feedback from somebody else, but also if you think your visuals are going to best represent, then stay with it. If not, you might want to think about how can you add something to it. So pause the video here while you think about these things. Okay, time to have that discussion with your family member, caregiver, or a friend. Kind of the same things you were just thinking about, but we're going to discuss. How can you revise your paragraph to strengthen the position you are taking? How can you improve the way you present your information? And do your visuals best represent your information, support your claim, and add emphasis? Go ahead and pause the video here while you think about these things and talk about these things with that person that you are with. Okay, please take out lesson 48 writing activity, which is your presentation sheet. Okay, so what it says is to finalize your project. Take any feedback from the position speech checklist that you may have been given and revise your speech or your position paragraph speech with illustrations. Revise the illustrations as needed as well. So go ahead and pause the video while you think about what you need to do to finalize your project. All right, for our closing, we are going to wrap up today's lesson as well as all the week's worth of what lessons that we have done. I'm extremely proud of all the progress you've made. I know that you are proud, I'm sure, of all the work that you've done. Definitely time to celebrate this. So let's think about how you do with our targets for today, which was I can present claims and findings in a focused, coherent manner using relevant evidence, sound reasoning, and well-chosen details. If you haven't had a chance to do your final presentation of what you've done, please do that. Making sure that you are using effective speaking techniques, appropriate eye contact, adequate volume, and clear pronunciation, and that I can integrate multimedia components and visual displays in a presentation to clarify information, strengthen claims, and add emphasis. So once again, this is going to help you finalize everything, tie that bow on it. Hopefully it's something that you're very proud of, all the work that you have done, all the reading, all the learning, all the thinking and talking you've done, and of course this final writing product that you're able to put forth. As a closing, I want you also to not only celebrate, but share your answers, share your writing with somebody, share that presentation with somebody, whether you recorded it, but also just have a chance to throw it out there so that people can celebrate what you did. Also, remember to read a book today for 20 minutes. Definitely encourage you to read at least 20 minutes every single day, regardless if it's an assignment or not. But it's always helpful to do that. You can read or have someone read to you as well. Okay, so our final thing we're doing, of course, is to show off that fluency. I want you to read any passage out loud. It can be read your final work that you just presented upon. Read your final, like what you've done from the graphical organizer to basically writing like, an opening and like a concluding statement. I want you to read your final like presentation to somebody. Read that aloud one last time to a parent, caregiver, or friend, or record yourself doing so. And then celebrate just how much progress you've made over the past few weeks, especially regarding to your reading fluency and how you are able to read, like on grade level type of text, reading on grade level articles, but also how you're able to present on those, reading it clearly, fluently, and of course, using the evidence that is needed to support what you're presenting on. So once again, celebrate this. Congratulations on completing all the work that you've done. I'm proud. Thank you for bearing with me. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for working so hard to make sure that you are completing all the assignments as well as just, continuing to learn about this. This would have been something you would have done in classes. So in some ways, this virtual type of work lends itself to what you would have done. And so you should be extremely proud if you've made it all the way through to this point in time. So thanks again for tuning in. Thanks again for everything you've done. And I hope to cross paths with you somewhere down the road, but good luck with high school and everything you're going to in your future upcoming years. All right. Thanks again.